First off, before I even get started with this video, I wanted to say thank you for everybody who liked our last video and shared the last video. I was hoping, maybe to reach like 50 people, and over 1,000 people watched it, which if you compare it to some of the, big companies and big names out there, is just a drop in the bucket. But for me and Haas, it was absolutely amazing to watch and truly humbling that many people would share our video and to see that many people believe what we believe and feel like they saw something in it and wanted to share it with their friends and with everybody else. That's really why we're here. We just want to get the message out about leadership and what it can do, and that's what our goal is for today's video. And speaking of being humbled, we're going to talk about humility. Now, as we kind of mentioned on our page, for those who asked, S.H.I.E.L.D is an acronym, stands for Spreading Humility, Interpersonal Education, and Leadership Development. So as Haas and I were talking about it last week or the week before, I thought it'd be a good idea to kind of talk through why we picked those concepts to be part of our acronym, other than the fact that the words worked and we like the name S.H.I.E.L.D. So we figured we'd start off with humility. So the first part of our name is to spread humility, or spreading humility.
So as Nick said, one of our core goals at S.H.I.E.L.D is to spread humility. So we're going to start off with a video about humility. Now it's real simple. Humility is just a modest view of oneself. It's not anything more complicated than that, although this is a very large subject matter that we could spend a lot of time talking about. So humility in leadership breaks down to a couple of pretty basic things as far as I'm concerned. It's being able to admit when you're wrong, giving credit where it's due, and asking for help.
So what C.S. Lewis said about humility is that humility is not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking about yourself less. Typically we see the first part of that. We see it in what I would call fake humility, when someone compliments your outfit and like, oh no, that's just something I picked up, not a big deal. And you're trying to deflect attention away from yourself. When someone compliments you for, maybe you've been working out and you've been dropping some weight, dropping some pounds, and someone says, hey, you look really great. I'm like, oh no, I don't, I'm fat, I'm ugly. That's not humility, that's just self-deprecating, and it's actually bringing down your self-confidence, and it's actually not helpful to you, and it's not helpful to the other person.
Now, it's important to understand that self-confidence as a leader is critical. You have to be confident in your abilities, in yourself, or else your team members are going to see that you're not confident, and it's going to drag down their confidence.
You can be very humble and also have an immense amount of self-confidence. The difference is in your mindset. Your mindset will be, I believe in myself, I have faith in my abilities, but I also know that I'm not perfect, and I'm okay that I'm not perfect. Okay? So I have no doubt, or say it like this, if I go out to my team and say, hey everybody, we need good ideas, it doesn't mean I don't have confidence in my ability to come up with ideas or solutions to a problem. It just means that I want to be part of the team, and I want the entire team. I know that I'm better as a team than I am by myself.
When you give credit where it's due, you do more to build trust with your team than almost anything else. When you just say thank you at the end of the project or at the end of the job for just the job well done that they did, for the expertise they lent you, for answering questions that you had to help you be successful as a leader, that's when people really look at you and say, hey, I trust that guy, I put my faith in that guy or that girl. And it shows that you are humble enough to know that you didn't do the whole thing by yourself, that you had help. That's the self-confidence, not arrogance, that we're talking about.
So when something goes wrong, the ego is going to tell you, well, this wasn't my fault. Okay, this was everybody else's fault. Everybody else didn't try hard enough. Especially as a leader, if you have a vision and if you have a vision and you have a goal, the goal wasn't met because everybody else failed me. No, you probably own a lot of that, and as the leader, you need to take your fair share, and actually more than your fair share, of the blame. But when success happens, point to your team and say, each one of you led us to success. Thank you for your hard work. This is because of you that we reached our goal.
So that's our first video on the subject of humility. It's very important to understand that humility is a very large topic that we could spend days worth of videos talking about. So I would encourage you, most of all, to think about ways in your life where maybe you could be more humble, whether it be in something like leadership that we're talking about, or just in general. It's a very good quality to have, and not one that it seems like a lot of people have these days. So if you have any questions or comments, or you think we're crazy, please just leave a comment below. We can answer any questions that you might have, maybe give you some examples if you'd like that. And you can look forward to our next video on the concept of approachability. Thank you. Oh, and I also wanted to add that we were extremely humbled by the amount of shares that our first video got, just introducing what it is that we want to do. I, like Nick, was expecting maybe a few dozen people to watch it, and we had over 1,000, and I was extremely happy with that there's so many people out there that are interested in just at least watching some videos on this kind of stuff. So more to follow, and thank you again.